tweeted. All right, Mardu Hero. This is another list from the Pro Tour. So we've got Hero plus Judy plus Heroic Reinforce, just a really powerful curve. Someone just commented on something that's really kind of interesting. There are only 21 lands in this deck, which is, that's really low. I wonder how that's going to feel in the game. So this is a deck list that did well at the Mythic Championship. I guess we technically only have 5 things that cost more than 4, and this could kind of ramp us in some situations, but definitely something. Let's play some matches here and think about the land count while we do. You definitely, at a glance, I think 21 is low for this archetype looking at the curve. But I'm going to play at least a couple of matches to start. We're here on the ranked floor. Let's get beat up a little bit. Deadhead Michael, thank you for the 8-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Look at this. Obviously, 21 lands is perfect. Never didn't have it. Do I remember what I placed? 6 wins, went from 7th place all the way down to 23rd place, I think. Paper events are brutal. The margins on what gets to top 8 and what doesn't are real thin. Yay! More wilderness reclamation! Yay! Right, our start's pretty aggressive here and we're on the play, so maybe we have a shot. Okay, with that draw, I'm actually going to go ahead and go Footlight Fiend plus Adanto, and then next turn we'll play Judy out, attack for a bunch. I think paper tournaments would benefit from dropping around to Swiss and making it top 16. So, if I had my way, I actually wrote an article about this a couple of years ago. I wish they'd innovate a little bit and try things with Swiss. So what I would do that I think would improve Magic the Gathering tournaments is I would cut 1 round of Swiss off of the tournament and then do a single elimination cut with however many players are X and 1 at the end of the tournament. And you square that bracket with buys for people with the better tiebreakers. So basically you just give people a threshold that they know they need to hit to top 8 a tournament. Rather than letting it be decided by things like intentional draws and other random stuff. Cutting around to Swiss off is just a win for everybody. But I don't expect them to ever really try anything like that. It doesn't seem like they really want to innovate in that direction. Been running Swiss tournaments how they are now for like 2.5 decades. Probably gonna run it for the next 2.5 decades. I don't know, Scoop Step. Speculating on things like Modern Horizons is kind of like speculating on the ban list. They're kind of just gonna, it's hard to predict what they're gonna do. I don't know, Burgle. So, like, there's only 2 priests in this deck, so having a couple of priests doesn't seem completely unreasonable. Great. And that game's such a good example of why the Wilderness Reclamation decks are just silly. Like, my opponent did nothing, so they died. Is Kaya supposed to come in here against their Search for Azcantas? I wonder if Kaya's supposed to come in here. I'm just gonna run it back. Yeah, Kaya probably comes in against control decks to hammer their... Maybe that card's just for mono blue, actually. So I think Priest is okay in this matchup, Burgle, because it's technically Reach that kills them through their fog effects, and it is a card that can kill their sideboard creatures that they often bring in. Wow, if we hit our 4th land on 4, this hand is great. This is the actual nut draw. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do 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 do. Any recommendations if I wanted to play Angrath besides Grixis Dragons? I'd recommend checking out Jund's Chainwhirler and the red-black mid-range decks like that won the Grand Prix. Or sub-audio or something. No, there's an actual deck of cards here that's basically like a fidget spinner for me. Well, we're gonna be putting lethal on them very quickly, which is the best thing you can do here. Yeah, I really like the Jund Whirler deck. I think that deck does really awesome things. Yeah, we're actually just gonna attack for lethal on turn 4, right? Even without the reinforcements, we're attacking for lethal on 4. What's the best Niv deck? I really like the Temur control deck on my standard decks page. I don't know if it's the best, but it's the one I've had the most fun with. Niv Mizzet plus Hydroid Krasis is a lot of fun. Driving in my car, beep beep. I mean, that's just Temur Reclamation. Zach, I really don't like the Reclamation decks. I just don't enjoy playing them. So, I would believe you that deck is better than the Temur control deck on my website, but I find Reclamations, yeah, I just find it tedious. I don't like the gameplay that Wilderness Reclamation generates. It's not a control deck, that's a combo control deck. It's definitely very good. Like, the deck's been putting up a ton of results and it bodies us a lot on the ladder, but I find it tedious a lot of the same way that Nexus is tedious. This hand's okay. Hopefully they're playing a deck where Cast Down has text. So do I keep Heroic Reinforcements as a good follow-up for Judy? I think I'm supposed to bottom this, trying to find a 1 or a 2 drop. I think I'm supposed to bottom this, trying to find a 1 or a 2 drop. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Yes, Randy. That is exactly correct. The Heroic Reinforcements plays around them having the old blink of an eye. I watched a couple of players playing with Reclamation and Paper this weekend at the Nerd Rage tournament, and a lot of them were tapping their Reclamations after they'd resolved the trigger, which was a good way to think about it. I was like, that seems smart. Alright, well, I'm not blocking, and I'm gonna cast this down anyway, so I might as well kill this and attack for 1. This Pelt Collector's real scary. Like, if they have land for Kindling Phoenix next turn, I'm probably just gonna get run out of the game, huh? Yeah, we played the Jund Warrior deck last week, and it was kind of okay. Definitely good here. Pelt Collector, super impressive there. Yeah, collectors get really big really fast with Rekindling Phoenix. Definitely want all these lava coils. Taijik seems kind of mediocre here. Actually, Vanguard's probably real bad, right? Because we can't attack in profitably a lot of the time. We're probably not going to have spare health to, There's a Deafening Clarion in this deck, sure. The pelts were collected. Yeah, do I want Kaya for Pelt Collector? I guess it's good against Phoenix too, right? Okay, I like that. That covers both. I'm gonna trim my Heroic Reinforcements. It's a little slow. Yeah. I don't think this is the Unbreakable Formation matchup. I think that's for sweepers. But maybe, maybe not. Angrath's pretty expensive. I think 5 mana cards here are not where I want to be in life. Alright, can we keep a hand where we are a bad control deck? Alright, kill it with fire. I'm electing to use Lava Coil here rather than Cast Down because I have a second Lava Coil in my hand to cover Rekindling Phoenix, and the flexibility of having a instant speed removal spell later could be important. I think I'm the control deck in this matchup, and as such, I'm supposed to leave Taijik back to block here. It feels bad if I get hit with the removal spell or a Collision Colossus, but... I'm gonna run back the same line again here. I might... Nah, I'm just gonna hit them. I don't know exactly what we're doing here. We've got 5 cards in hand. So if they go like land bird, I get to kill both their threats and then attack. Alright, so we're solidly... Ooh, them making that a 4/4 is really good for us. So I get to do... They get to do this, and then... Honestly, I think I'm just gonna shock this in, and Judy crack them to 11. Maybe I'm supposed to cast down there because of Rekindling Phoenix. Yeah, I think using the Lava Coil there was maybe wrong. I think the Lava Coil play was wrong there. I should have burned the cast down because Rekindling Phoenix kind of messes us up here. You could also make the argument that if they had Phoenix, they probably would have played it out last turn, though. I don't know, like, what are the odds they play Rekindling Phoenix instead of the Gruul whatever last turn? Probably pretty high, right? I'm gonna go ahead and attack with Judy here. So now that I've saved the cast down, I actually get to be in an okay spot here. If they attack with this, I'll block, giving them a chance to Collision Colossus over, and then I'll cast down their thing in response. So we might get a sweet 2-for-1 because of how we sequence our removal. JK, not trading. Just kidding. Just kidding. So I blocked here, even though I never had any intention of trading, to see if we could get them to use a Collision Colossus and get a 2-for-1 with our cast down. So the end result is the same, but we give our opponent a small chance to generate a 2-for-1 in our favor. Really like to draw Heroic Reinforcements this turn. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh. Are we dead? I feel like we're dead. Man, we are definitely having a case of the Mondays so far today. It's not been a fantastic day to be on this side of the board. Status Whirler is real good. No, the opponent looks to be playing Frank Karsten's Jund Warriors deck, which was playing 3 copies of Status, along with Chain Whirler. No blocks. Kill me, baby. End me. The top side of Arena is overpowered and wins like 65% of the time. Stupid game and its lack of balance. Yeah, we're pretty dead here. We'd finally won a match, and we were climbing. We were climbing. We had rungs on the ladder. Belt Collector is cheating. And I'm gonna open a booster pack to make myself feel better, okay? 20 gems? Yay! 20 gems! Ah! Now I have 14,440 gems. So, if you have a full playset of every rare in a set, and you would open a rare, you instead get 20 gems. You can't sell booster packs in this game, love. So the only thing you can do is open them. This is a functional 6. And it's not a good 6, but it's functional. That's going to be tomorrow, Jerry. So moving forward, I guess I should mention this because I tweeted it, but we have a lot more people that watch that don't follow me on Twitter. So moving forward, on Tuesdays, I am going to be not playing the queue from the top down, and I'm going to instead be playing the decks that I explicitly feel are extra competitive, or adding decks that I like that are competitive to the queue so I can use Tuesdays to rank up a bit. Try Hard Tuesday, we're gonna title it. And we're still gonna play a variety of things on Tuesday, so I'm still planning to play a minimum of 3 decks during that Tuesday portion of the stream. But there will be a little bit. I'm gonna be picking the decks as opposed to letting the dollars pick the decks specifically. All the rest of the week is still gonna be as things have always been here, but Tuesdays specifically, things are gonna be a little bit different. Because starting this month, the top 1,000 players on the ladder get an invite to a monthly tournament. So I would like to do my best to finish in the top 1,000 of the ladder this season. You have a card.
I advise that you yield.
Sure.
There is great power in the things you make.
Details on the top 1,000 thing. If you haven't seen it or hear Hero of the whatever one. So we play Hero. I don't think they're going low enough that I can ignore Karn, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Karn. I'm going to kill Karn this turn.
Please stop.
I'm actually just going to attack with Judith here, and I'm going to leave a priest activation up in case they have a removal spell here or a sweeper. Possible that leaving these activations up has been too conservative just because they would be at 7 if I'd just been attacking them every turn. So maybe I'm supposed to be more aggressive here. Hero is a removal magnet, but you don't just not play creatures because your opponent has removal spells. Like there's lots of cards in this deck that you could classify as removal magnets. Like Judith's a removal magnet. Priest of the Forgotten Gods is a removal magnet. There are a variety of removal magnets in this deck. Alright, my opponent did a whole lot of nothing and then died to my aggro deck. Just the way the good Lord intended. Did nothing, died. Alright, what are we doing against control? Tajik's probably not stellar against non-red control. Mortify's probably not great. Cast down, they probably don't have... I guess we don't know exactly how many creatures they have. Maybe we're supposed to leave Cast Down in to play around, what's it called? To play around, Hostage Taker. Maybe this is the Plaguecrafter matchup. I don't think Blue-Black... I guess they have Karn. I say Blue-Black doesn't usually have too many Planeswalkers, but I guess they do have Karn. Why would we leave in Mortify over Cast Down? Like, do they have enchantments we care about? I guess searches, whatever. I'm definitely leaving Priest of the Forgotten Gods in. What do we think of this? I kind of like all the cards in my deck at the moment. I don't feel like I want to cut anything too much. This is a game where they board in a bunch of cries and we just get destroyed. That is one thing I really liked about the black-white Aristocrats deck that we played, like having Seraph of the Scales, that you play around Cry a little bit. Which is nice. This hand's fine. It doesn't have a 1-drop in it, but like the other spells are reasonable. If we draw a couple of lands, we've got a good 2-3-4 curve. So, to address Dumping Truck's point about something like Bedevil, so something that I find players like to do too often a lot of the time, that was the best draw on the deck, by the way, is that not every deck needs to be a control deck post-board. Players have this tendency to want to board in a bunch of removal in every matchup, when in reality, you're just the answer deck a lot of the time. There's no need to board in a bunch of removal if you're just killing your opponent. You know what the best answer is? The best answer is killing your opponent with cards in their hand. Like, we could beat this Thief of Sanity just by killing them before they can leverage the card advantage that they generate from it. Alright, turns out they did have the sweeper after they played Thief. Weird. Wow, that's brutal. Woof. Woof. I think we're dead. I think we're dead. It's a little bit our own fault, right? Like, I killed them so quickly in the first game that we didn't really know how big or middling their deck was. So, like, we didn't know exactly where they were at. So we didn't play the first game long enough, really, to find out. So if I play this... They'll go block, block, and they'll take 8. Beep, beep. And I have a... They'll be at 1, and I'll have a Footlight Fiend in play. Thunk. Thanks for the Prime support, Demir. Hope you're having a good one.
Here be monsters. Your crew for my freedom? A fair price.
What a tilt. This lets them kill one of my tokens too, so they're not dead on that attack either. That's so brutal. Alright, thank goodness we've got some more friends here. That's incredibly rude otherwise. Cry, Moment of Craving, Vraska's Contempt. These are the cards that beat us here. These are the cards that beat us here. Take your removal spells and shove them wherever you want, chat. Everybody's like, we need more Doomblade. Stop it. Kill your opponent. Stop trying to be interactive and just get them dead. This is not Esper control. This is a red aggro deck. Let's run them down. Smork it out. Sometimes you gotta smork it out. The gems for winning means that it was trying to give me a rare that I already had 4 copies of. So remember, you can't open a 5th copy of rares. You can't open a 5th copy of any card. It's just rares and mythics turn into gems now, and commons and uncommons still go toward full progress. Can we manage? What is this nonsense? We're Diamond 4 and we just got paired into Mythic 22. I guess there's probably not that many people in Mythic right now. I guess there's probably not that many people in Mythic this early, I guess. They're gonna drop 100 ranks if they lose, right? You reached Mythic last night and got rank 35. Yeah, there's probably just not many people in Mythic. Oh, sweet. We just crossed 2,500 viewers. That's where the streamer luck kicks in. Let's see you. We should draw our 3rd land now because we hit 2,500 viewers. Rats! Gosh, it would have been so good if that worked. Whoop. Stand up for a hot second here. Alright, I think we just hit for 5 again. I play constantly. Well, thanks for being here. Woo. I think Priest is better than Gutterbones there. They're missing land drops too, so if Priest can take away an Incubation Druid, that'd be pretty reasonable. My called shot power only works for the opponent's plays. Not wrong. SCTR doling out some sub gifties. Start digging up some streamer luck. Thank you very much for the support. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a good one. Come on, Judy. Judy Fruity. Oh, Judy. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do. Yikes. So I can Gutter Bones. And then I can Priest, target you, ditch these, and cast Judith and get another shot at drawing a land here. It's unfortunate. This does let us hit for 4 this turn, though, which is nice. This is going to put them to 5. What's the best way to accumulate a collection on Arena? The most powerful card in Magic is the credit card, and through the wonders of the credit card, you can unlock as many other cards as you would like on Arena. So I assume this is going to be a block plus incubate turn, a block plus adapt turn. And then once they go to adapt, we can... Oh, that's interesting. All right, well, I'm going to cast down Incubation Druid before blocks here then. All right. Even on just... Our deck's reasonably efficient on a low land count. Their deck's probably got more expensive things in it. So even though we're stuck on 2 and they got up to 3, look like we're going to be able to pressure them out of the game here. Any other creature makes a Priest of the Forgotten Gods activation lethal next turn, which is nice. We have not cast Dovin's Acuity on this stream. If your goal is to just play Constructed, you should just buy current set packs. Guilds and Allegiance are the 2 best sets to start buying because they have all the shock lines in them, which are very good in this format. I don't know exactly what the opponent's doing, but it probably involves some amount of Wild Growth Walkers, so Lava Coil seems fine. I think Tajik probably gets stonewalled by some of their bigger green creatures, so I'm going to trim some of him. Maybe bring in a Mortify on the draw as well. Not sure exactly what they're doing because they kind of stumbled and bumbled and died without doing a whole lot, so let's submit like this for now, and then we can reassess if we go to a game 3 after seeing more of their deck. What does the hero archetype entail? So, hero in this context refers to the card Hero of the Precinct one, which is a 2/2 that makes a 1/1 creature every time we play a multicolored card. Hey, it's not 300 packs, it's like 250 packs, okay? But yeah, if you're trying to get into Arena on a budget, or you're like wondering the best way to free to play, I'm definitely not the person to ask. This is my job, and all my Arena purchases are tax deductible. So when a new set comes out, I whip out the credit card and I cut old Watsy a check for lots of dollar dues. Did you see my sub? I don't think a message popped up, Destin, but you do saw the icon next to your name, as you're currently subbed to the channel. Thanks for the support. Growth Chamber Guardian, yep. I think they're just straight blue-green, just because last game they did have a Blink of an Eye in the main deck, which implies they don't have real removal. UT Corrosion, thanks for the Prime support. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. I appreciate it. All right, well, getting on the list of things I don't mind getting quenched, Gutter Bones is definitely towards the top, so we've got that going for us. Would really like to hit a land for Judith this turn. Yeah, I think that's probably the game. They're gonna start chaining 4/4s out here, and we just can't keep up. If I would have gotten to play Judith this turn, my creatures would have had 3 power, and then they could have attacked into their 4 defense Growth Chamber Guardian to trade with it, and we could have probably pushed through, but I think we needed to finally hit the 3rd land that turn to have a chance. I'm gonna trim a Mortify on the play and bring... I'm gonna trim 2, actually, and bring these Taijiks back in. Being more proactive on the play sounds good. Hey, Eddius Daddy, thanks for the 2-month resub. Welcome back, and thanks for keeping me around. Having good mana is very, very important in Magic if you want to play multicolored cards. So, if you're going to play more than one color in your deck, I would highly recommend having Checks and Shocks. Remember, rotation's not for 7 months, chat. It's seven months from now. I realize you get a year in 7 months with the shock lands, but like 7 months on the non-shock lands, on the check lands, is still like a long time. If you're gonna spend like 300 bucks, I'd recommend buying 150 Guilds packs and 150 Allegiance packs. You're telling me we'll have to get a new set of duo lands in 3 sets. 3 sets. Magic rotates every fall. But yeah, they're frequently dual lands rotate in and out. Really need to hit a land for Judy next turn. This feels familiar. Really need to hit a land for Judy. I think we might be in such a position this game where we can afford to wait. Just because I have double hero. But yeah, this is the 2nd game in a row where the fact that this deck has a very greedy amount of lands in it is catching up with us. Yeah, also, if you plan to play whatever the new format's going to be that they're going to announce in the fall, the check lands are definitely going to be integral to that format. Not close. Man, Footlight Fiend's really good when it makes 2/1/1s. Honestly, we're gonna play another match after this. I'm gonna cut the main deck Carnival for an Angrath, or for a land, sorry. Probably gonna start sacking these tokens to Fireblade Artist. I'm not gonna sack the Footlight Fiends right away, because Footlight Fiend can attack into a 4/4 with Judith in play, so it's meaningful to leave that out. This is a 21 land deck. It is incredibly greedy. Yeah, I thought that was really funny, Swartz. They're like, we're done with Modern Masters. Here's this other thing that's like Modern Masters adjacent. Like the Modern Horizons things after they announced they were getting rid of Modern Masters feels like WotC just like did the like push their glasses up. It was like, actually, this is technically not Modern Masters. It is very different. Spend my mana killing their flyer, I guess. They get to fart Incubation Druid here and then just have infinite mana next turn, which means they have another Krasis, we're probably dead. It's a core set for Modern. That's an interesting way to think about it, except they said that it's not going to have any existing Modern cards in it, right? Like, it's all new stuff. So, like, the fact that it doesn't have, like, reprints that we need, like Scalding Tarns and other fetch lands is a big deal. Makes it a little bit different than a core set. Yeah, I've been sacrificing to Fireblade Artist every turn. Yeah, I guess that's true, Zach. It doesn't reprint cards that we need. In fact, this set is going to make Modern Staples more expensive, right? Should buy some lands with the credit card. That's the A+ advice. What happens if I attack with everything? Probably nothing good. Probably nothing good. I think I'm at least throwing these at them. I think I throw this at them too. He did not die in the backswing as well. Judith is legendary, so you can't have two Judiths out at once. I think I can go to 12 here. We're dead to climb either way, so I think I want to save this. There's 4 triggers here. I think killing off blockers is worthwhile. Yeah, second Judith is basically a shock. We're gonna add a land to this deck real quick. $20 land, please. They had 2 elves in play. So they did, in fact, have plenty of mana. They did, in fact, have plenty of mana. There's only 12 white in this deck. Gosh, the mana in this deck is so greedy. By sending all 4 triggers at the Crisis. I guess taking more blockers out of play was important for actually winning the game the following turn by attacking, though. What do you mean when you say something is greedy, whether it be a play, or a deck? So greedy in terms of play is generally greedy in terms of play lines refers to you're taking a play that has a high risk. So like you are likely to lose if you take the play if it doesn't work out, but you're likely to win if it does work out. In the context of deck building, we generally say something is greedy if it's very expensive. So like playing decks full of like 8 and 9 mana spells would be considered greedy in terms of deck building. And now that we added a Clifftop Retreat, we're going to flood out, right? That's how this works? No problem, MJ. Thanks for being here. I think I'm going to leave Gutterbones back on defense. I guess they missed a land drop, so maybe I'm supposed to be aggressive. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to be aggressive because they missed a land drop. If we flood out this game, we just rage cut a land, right? Obviously the only answer. Yeah, double heroic's gonna be fine. Do I just replay Gutterbones here? I think I actually want to replay Gutterbones as opposed to playing Hero, because I think they're incredibly likely to kill Hero, whereas this turn, they're not likely to kill Gutterbones. And with Heroic Reinforcements 2x, I could probably just race them here. And Ditch, thanks for the Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're having a good Monday. Thanks everybody for dropping in here by the way this afternoon. We're up to 2,600 folks. Everyone's having a good start to the week. That's a Judy. I think I just want a Heroic still, though. This is, So if they have double Bolt next turn, I die. But otherwise, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. This block is good for us. This block signifies they don't have a lot of burn in their hand. Because if they had double Bolt, they wouldn't block because we'd be dead. The opponent's deck is likely mono red with a small green splash. So the red aggressive deck that top 8 of the Mythic Championship had a small green splash for the cards Collision Colossus as well as Cindervines in the sideboard. So them sending that upstairs there is good for us because it means they died to this other reinforcement. Actually, are they just dead to Judy? No, they're not quite dead to Judy, but they are definitely dead to this. Beep, beep. This is definitely a matchup where a Danto Vanguard gets cut. We don't have extra life to spare to protect a Danto Vanguard in a matchup like this. Lava Coil is reasonable. We want to be a little bit more interactive on the draw, I think. Mortify is fine. Deafening Clarions actually pretty good here. While sometimes we won't be able to use the deal 3 damage to everything because we do have creatures of our own, the fact that this can give our folks lifelink is very relevant to a lot of places. Ticket to Ride cards. That's sweet as Zentoth. I think I want a Kaya here. I think I want the Kaya. Is it crazy to cut Judith in this matchup? She's kind of slow, right? At least one. I wonder if I want Duress to like try and poke through their removal and pull my curve down. I kind of want to like trim to Judy and bring in 2 Duress. I'm gonna give this a try. I feel like especially on the draw, I want to be a little bit more reactive and interactive. Mortify is slow, but if we're not racing successfully, we do need ways to take Experimental Frenzy off the table, and it trades even on mana for Chain Whirler, which is relevant. That seems okay. I'm gonna bottom that because I'm looking for like Duresses and removal spells, I think, because I already have like a 2-drop, a 3-drop, a 4-drop. Cut Priest instead of Judith. Yeah, I could see that. My opponent's deck has a lot of removal in it, so I'm probably not going to be likely to activate Priest terribly often. Yeah, I like that suggestion. Game 3, if we go there, I'm going to cut the Priest and put the Judas back in. If they attack with this Runaway Steamkin, I'm going to go ahead and take the trade. Just because that card's real important. Yikes. Alright, we are definitely in a position where Tajik is hoping to block. It's not a great place to be in life, but it's where we're at. Probably dead here. Yeah, I think that means we're done. Yeah, their curve was really strong that game. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna swap Judy back in for the Priest. Steamkin confirmed, still great. It feels bad because that's an untapped land, but I really just can't keep a not black source here. I think I just go ahead and Lava Coil here. Because if I play the hero, I really don't want to block with it. So just spending my mana this turn to guarantee preserve some of my health total sounds ideal. Well, we'll cast the spell we can cast. And remember, like, it's easy to focus on games like this and think that you're kind of unlucky, but if you look at the mana base of this deck, the mana base of this deck is actually incredibly greedy. So the mana base of this deck does not have a lot of copies of all of its mana sources just because it's playing such a low land count in a tricolor deck. So it's going to be, we've actually lost a significant number of games in this set to mana issues, and I definitely think it's a number of the deck building choices, number of choices surrounding deck building that this deck has made that have led to those issues. So I'm going to elect to not play a black creature out this turn because they have this Wizard Lightning in exile from this light up the stage. So they have to play this turn, and I'd rather they don't get to point it at one of my creatures. Yeah, Panza, the higher your curve is, the less it matters that you run 3 colors, and the reason for that is the more lands you play, the better your mana is, right? Because the best fixing is just playing more lands. Just gonna play 2 things out here. Are you not happy if they bolt Gutter Boy? I don't think so. Woof. That's brutal. That had all the matchup results from the MC. That's neat. So they like combed through and lined up all the deck lists that we knew about. So the thing you need to understand is that in best of 3 with sideboard, there's no algorithm. And in best of 1 with the algorithm, the only algorithm is in your opening hand. So the rest of your deck is still completely random. So the only decks that can really abuse the opening hands in best of 1 are the ones that don't want to draw a lot of lands, because the rest of your deck is still very much random. Any deck that wants to draw 4 lands can't cheat on its land because of the algorithm. The algorithm makes it less likely that you have a no-lander to start. But everything else is still the same. It's kind of scary that they still have 5 cards in their hand here. Like, they've played more lands than us and still just have, like, more cards left in their hand. Which is really terrifying. All these light up the stages have been really good. I guess I just play this out. I guess I could play Kaya and gain. Yeah, I guess I'm actually just gonna Kaya here. She gains us 2. And like, so she gains us 2 when I exile these cards from their discard pile. And then like, if this attacks her and they send a burn spell at her, she gained like 8, which is probably fine. They had someone manually track down archetypes. That's impressive. I'll have to look through that later. Thanks for the link. Seems really interesting. So, like, again, even if they kill Kaya here with the burn spell, she still gained an absurd amount of health. So I get to exile this and this. probably about time to restart the client here. Sounds like the audio's going whack. These people are great. Buy their stuff. These people, also great. Buy their stuff. Back to your regularly scheduled Magic Arena. Jeff should just scream capitalism. Oh, look, our Judith died. Who's surprised? Anyone? No? No one? Got it.
Am I dematerializing?
Dematerializing? So, I mean, Kaya gained 10 there. That's, like, not terrible. Yeah, the BCW is Jeff 10. Don't play another Chain Whirler. Don't play another Chain Whirler. Don't play another Chain Whirler. Don't do it. Alright. Okay. Yikes. That's, it's a little rough. A little rough around the edges. Alright. Mortify's good. Mortify takes their source of consistent damage off the table. You know what? To be fair, that was it better than a Chain Whirler? So, like, it's kind of like they don't have a 3-3, but they killed my 2-2. Like, it's like 6 in one hand, half dozen the other type situation. Oh, my lord. Yikes. Woof. Lordy. Lordy. You know, it's funny. I thought maybe we'd climb into Mythic today just because we were playing a bunch of decks that, like, did well at the Mythic Championship to start. But it's been kind of a brutal morning. It's probably a reason these decks weren't in the top 8. Oh, this is going to be my last one with this deck. Alright, I'm going to keep. These 3-color low land count decks are they're just not consistent enough. I'm sure if this deck, like, hits its colors and lands perfectly every game, the spells are good enough to make it playable, but you're just not going to hit your lands often enough. Ooh! Found a piece of candy, chat. Found a piece of candy. I mean, I'm sure the person that went 8-2 in this would just, like, hit 4 lands in a lot of their games and, like, could cast their spells. Like, a lot of our issues have been related to consistency, not to power level. Consistency's been the big issue we've had so far. Yeah, we hit pretty close. I think I was one match away from Mythic, and then, like, fell down to, like, Diamond 3 once or twice last season. Yeah, this hand is very good with the land that we drew. For sure. Agree with that. And there's a reason why I kept this hand with the Scry. Like, it's got great spells in it. I would like to block with my tokens. Thank you. I'll let him trade with the Fireblade Artist here, I think. We'll shock in Priest of the Forgotten Gods next turn. Yeah, if we hit a bad streak, I'm not gonna like stress out about being in the top 1,000, but my goal is to be approximately in the top 1,000 every month moving forward to try and play in their tournament that they're gonna have people doing on the digital platform. Playing in Magic events is fun, especially when you don't have to leave the house for them. In fact, Tuesdays moving forward, I'm going to be playing decks that I specifically want to play, as opposed to just viewer submitted deck lists like we have in the past. Footlight Beam sounds great here because it means that I'm gonna get to kill both their tokens here. So target you. No, Auric. When you put Judith's trigger on the stack, it has to have a target. And triggers are always ordered active player, non-active player triggers, so non-active player triggers always resolve first. But your active player triggers have to choose targets when they go on the stack. So I can't wait to choose my target until after the spirits are made. Our draw came together very well that game. Like I said, like we've been talking about consistency being the big issue, right? Like if every game plays out like that one, this deck's probably busted in half, right? The issue is that it doesn't feel like we're doing that every game, right? Like, if that was the norm, sign me up. I think this is probably bad against a deck full of Afterlife things. I'm gonna board in Unbreakable Formation, just as like a 5th heroic reinforcement, basically. Fire and Steel, Fulgrim, thanks for the 17 months. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Will I be streaming on Tuesdays or focusing on playing them? But no, I'm still gonna be streaming. This is still my job. Like, this pays my bills. I'm not skipping one day of work a week to play video games all day. I'm just going to be streaming decks that I prefer to play, as opposed to streaming decks that people have paid to put into the deck queue. So we'll be doing 4 days a week of decks from the viewer-submitted deck queue, and 1 day a week on Tuesdays of me playing decks that I specifically like on the ladder. Oh, I don't think I can be a bad... I really don't want to go to 5. Sure. I'm not sure how aggressive they are either. I am still going to do MTGO to start on Tuesdays. Although I think I'm going to pick my favorite deck in Modern or Legacy at the time to play on Tuesdays. Just have it be a day of all decks that I like. What's my favorite deck in Legacy? Jeskai Stoneblade's the one deck that jumps out at me in Legacy as like being reasonable. Plays all the good cards. Rude. It will start tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow we'll climb up into Mythic, if we don't get there today. So Fairy Podmother every Tuesday, that's what we're playing tomorrow morning. Maddie was talking about going to the Modern Open in Louisville in May, so if I still like the Vanafear deck by then, I'll probably find a copy of that and go play. beep, beep. Thunk, 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 thunk. Divest this. Get him. Get him. There's lots of different ways you can build this deck. Okay, sure. Yeah, alright. Yeah, sure. We've tried a lot of different iterations of this archetype. I have not liked any of the Mardu aggro decks this season. All of the Mardu aggro decks have felt like they're a little bit too clunky and inconsistent in my experience playing them so far. I'm sure there's lots of great things you could try, but so far none of them have felt good to me. I was excited to give this one a try because it did well at the Mythic Championship, but this one again kind of feels disappointing. Need to draw a third Lava Coil here, and there's only 3 Lava Coils in this deck. How do we feel about the Bant Tokens deck? It was really bad. It felt like the aggressive mid-range decks in this format just feel super mediocre. They're just not interactive enough or aggressive enough. No, it has nothing to do with playstyle, Zombie. If I was only capable of playing one playstyle of deck, what I do here wouldn't be particularly successful. So, like, there's definitely decks that I prefer playing, but, like, you know, we play Esper Control, and I talk about how it feels tedious, but we still win lots of games with it, even though I don't enjoy the type of games that it plays. This deck's issues stem from consistency of playing a low land count, very color-intensive 3-color deck. So Selesnya is... I think Selesnya is also very bad for the same reason. It is an aggressive mid-range deck that's not very interactive and isn't very aggressive. And I get it, like, the green-white tokens deck has put up results, but the Bant deck that we played also put up results. I'm saying in comparison to the other decks that are more popular in the format, it's felt unimpressive to me. The Bant deck we played today had March plus Flourish in it. K9. I'm not quite sure why you're referencing that. I think we're pretty dead here, right? I guess I'll take one more shot at a Lava Coil. You tend to put your endorsement on high consistency decks. Yeah, decks that are doing powerful things that are consistent tend to be better. So yeah, my endorsement is generally on decks that are better. Does Vivian really solve problems that the green-white tokens deck has? I'm not super familiar with the matchups in that deck. So I'm not sure, like, what problem she's solving for you. I allowed them the chance to attack with 3 creatures if they wanted to run their human tokens into my choo-choos to flip their Legion's Landing. I was kind of okay with that because they already have a lot of utility lands here that are going to be tying up their mana. So giving them another utility land doesn't really matter. Yeah, maybe the formation to save Priest is fine there. I guess if I would have had Priest in this board state, I would have been able to Priest, shoot down 2 of these, and then they sacrifice this, and I draw a card. Yeah, I think you're right that maybe using the formation to save my Priest there was better. I agree with that recommendation. In fact, I think because I don't have the Priest, I'm probably dead here now at this point. Heroic Reinforcements could be okay. Taijik's kind of okay. This lets us get pretty aggressive this turn. Let's go ahead and give these Vigilance and smack them. Pump up Judy here. Give her a little mentoring. Why are we just dead? Why are we just dead? Perfect, Charles. Well, welcome back for the 9th month in a row. Thanks for keeping me around. Vigilance. Vigilance confirmed busted. I mean, we were dead on board, so like dead on board to not dead on board sounds great. Like we'd have died if they hadn't cast Kaya's Wrath there. So thanks, I guess. We're still dead, I suppose, but they gave us an extra turn. Need to be on the play for game 3. So you're saying there's a chance. What determines that Afterlife goes in the stack before your death triggers? When triggers from both players would go on the stack at the same time, the active player's triggers go on the stack first, right? It's active player, non-active player. Yeah, active player's triggers go on the stack first. So that means non-active player's triggers resolve first, is the important part of that. Big Mama Emmercool, thanks for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. An active player, for those that are new to Magic, refers to the person whose current turn it is. I don't think I want Kaya. I wonder if this is an experimental Frenzy matchup. Mortified doesn't seem particularly good. I'm going to bring in a Frenzy just to, like, have an extra card that lets me go over the top. Although maybe the fact that they're a Mortified deck means that Frenzy is not particularly good at doing that. Sure. Take a little bit of damage from our mana here, but like pretty reasonable spells. I'm probably going to prioritize holding on to the Lava Coil for Seraph, since we've seen that as a card in their deck now. The active player is whoever turn it is, Jiaofu. So if you're controlling your opponent on their turn, your opponent is the active player. It's still someone's turn, regardless of who's controlling it. Which side of the board is generating the triggers, basically, determines that. I think it's right to play Fireblade Artist rather than Judith here. If I played Judith last turn... Although I guess this is reason to have been more aggressive here. or played the Judith last turn. So like, if I would have played the Fireblade Artist last turn now, I would have been able to play... If I would have played Judith last turn, sorry, I would have been able to play Fireblade Artist plus a 2-mana removal spell this turn, which is a little bit awkward. So I think since they missed a land drop, I said I was going to save this for their Seraph, but because they missed a land drop, I'm just going to go ahead and burn this and smack them for 3. And then hopefully they play a creature next turn, I play the cast down, and then I untap and play Judith and start applying extra pressure. Hopefully just punish them for stumbling here. Is there a way to make Steel Leaf Champion work in Green Black Elves? No, I don't think Steel Leaf Champion solves any problems that Green Black Elves has. If you're referring to Modern specifically. If you're referring to Standard, it's probably fine. Just gonna go ahead and play my removal spell here and just attack for as much as possible next turn. Getting their attackers out of play is like also nice because it means their Legion's landing is less likely to flip. This knocks them to 8. I'm gonna hold the land in my hand because my opponent has showed me they have cards like Divest in their deck. So by holding a card, I might encourage them to play a discard spell into nothing. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and sacrifice the Footlight Fiends here. And the reason for this is I want to be able to kill this Tithe Taker, so that way my Judith and my Fireblade Artist can attack this turn without having to worry about potentially trading inside of combat. My attacks are better by reducing the amount of power they have in play, and my attacks are lethal now. So we had a pretty good draw that game, and they stumbled. And again, that's why it's important to be able to, like, pull yourself back and detach yourself from the results and, like, think a little bit about, like, what your deck was doing and why it was doing the thing that it's doing. This deck felt like it was reasonable when it was casting its spells and playing on curve. However, these 3-color aggressive decks just aren't consistent. They don't play enough lands to consistently play their spells early. If you look at a lot of the other 3-color decks in the format, a lot of them are mid-range and control decks that also are base 2 colors splash a 3rd. If you look at this deck has 1 and 2 mana plays in all 3 of its color parts of the pie. A couple of people have been talking about, well, can we play Unclaimed Territory and focus on the human theme? Gutterbones and Footlight Fiend, these early 1 mana plays, are part of what makes this deck good when it's able to play its spells, in my opinion. Having these reasonable 1 mana plays, if you lose that for the sake of playing Unclaimed Territory, your deck is going to be worse. So overall, this was another deck that did well at the Mythic Championship, but I was just kind of unimpressed with it. I think the consistency just isn't quite there compared to a lot of the other good decks that exist in the format. So this felt a little bit like a miss to me. That being said, the next deck we're going to try here is a black-red priest deck that will hopefully have less consistency issues since it's only